Rndr is one of the hottest AI altcoins on the market, and despite pulling back about 30% over the past month, as we have seen the majority of the altcoin market pull back, this altcoin is still up 233% over the past year. Now, we do also have a very big announcement coming on July 20th, according to some leaks that I did see on Twitter. So in today's episode of the Everything Crypto Show, I want to break down exactly what this big announcement could mean for the Rndr network and why it could push this AI altcoin back up to new highs. Now, before we hop into the content, just a friendly reminder that I am not a financial advisor. I am simply here for your crypto news and entertainment purposes. And if you do enjoy the content, please consider hitting that sub and like button and turn that notification bell on so you can be notified when all of our latest videos go live on the channel. So we're going to get right into today's altcoin of discussion, and I do want to talk about the Rndr token. Now, if you guys have been with the channel for a while, you know that we did start covering this altcoin last year, and with good reason. I mean, this coin has been one of the biggest winners of the bull run. In fact, if we go ahead and take a look at its performance, biggest winners from the large caps, right? We can see here that the coin peaked up about 3,000%, and even with the 50+% decline we have seen from that all-time high, this coin is still up 1,400% from its bottom at the beginning of 2023, where it did sit at about 37 cents, as it currently sits at about $6.50. Now, as I mentioned, this coin has pulled back, 30% over the past month. And additionally, if we take a look at its pullback from the all-time high, that's about a 52% decline for this coin. It didn't really have anything to do with Rndr specifically. It's just been the majority of the altcoin market kind of looking like this. In fact, if we take a look at Total 3, which is the entire crypto market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's down about 28% on average. So, the fact that Rndr has been a big winner, it does also make sense that on the way down, it would experience some larger pullbacks. However, there is an announcement that is set to come on July 20th, which could turn all of this around. And that's what I want to break down for you guys in today's video. Sorry, guys, I did just get a quick phone call there, but we are going to get back into this announcement now. And before we actually talk about the announcement specifically, I do want to break down some news that we saw a couple of months back, as it does relate to the announcement that is said to be upcoming. And it does kind of highlight some pretty interesting things that we could see in the announcement, including potential increased burns for the Rndr token, as well as staking. So the news came back in March that Stability AI, one of the biggest AI companies in the world, Altcoin, who is the parent company for Rndr, Endeavor, the owner of UFC and WWE Endeavor, and the Rndr network joined forces to develop next-generation AI models, IP rights systems, and open standards powered by decentralized GPU computing. So the partnership leverages Rndr's decentralized GPU network, massively scaling AI training and inference power at cost to help democratize open source, transparent, generative AI technology and provenance systems that will soon impact 3D, VFX, and media production workflows. Now, when they talk about Rndr's decentralized GPU network, if you are not familiar with what the Rndr network does, it basically provides near unlimited decentralized GPU computing power through their rendering platform, which is basically a blockchain marketplace for idle GPU compute. So people are able to offer up their idle GPU power to the Rndr network. Then other people are able to tap into this for a wide variety of computation tasks, for content creation, basic rendering, to artificial intelligence such as large language models. And then the people who actually lend out this GPU power are paid in the Rndr token. So now we are seeing some of the biggest AI and media companies in the world actually looking to also tap into the Rndr network's decentralized GPU marketplace. And as part of the collaboration, Endeavor will work with Stability AI, the Rndr network, and Altcoin to develop transparent IP tracking tools. Otoy and Stability AI will work together to optimize Stability AI's models to run on the Rndr network's peer-to-peer pool of consumer GPUs. Native integration of Stability AI models on the Rndr network provides a seamless integration of large AI models and 3D content workflows, access to web APIs for third-party applications, and the ability to scale to a waitlist of over 1 million consumer GPUs for building next-gen media models. Now, for some context, Otoy is actually the creator of Octane X, a GPU rendering platform, and you might notice this logo looks familiar. That is because it is in fact the same logo as the Rndr network. So Otoy is the creator of Octane X, and Octane X can actually be run and tap into Rndr's decentralized GPU network. So that's the relevance of Otoy there. And Stability AI, okay, let's take a look at Stability AI as well. If we actually go to their website here, go to About, and you can just kind of get a little bit of an idea of just how big this company is. So we can actually see here that they reached 10 million global users just 2 months after their release. Additionally, look at Stable Diffusion, which is their AI image generator, compared to some of the biggest in the game, including DALL-E 2, which is ChatGPT's, Adobe Firefly, and Midjourney. And you're going to notice here that Stable Diffusion blows them out of the water in terms of AI images generated. So from 15.4 billion total, 12.59 billion came from Stable Diffusion, with $1 billion from Adobe Firefly, 916 mil from DALL-E, and 964 mil from Midjourney. Effectively, Stable Diffusion basically created like over 12x the amount of AI images that these other platforms did. And we're not comparing it to small companies. We're not comparing it to startups. We're comparing it to some of the biggest names in the AI space at the moment. So now that we have that partnership out of the way, the second thing I do want to discuss is what happened following that partnership. And we did see Imad Mostak, who was the former CEO at Stability AI, and he was the founder as well. He effectively left his position to join the Rndr network on the advisory board, and swiftly after doing that, he did release RNP 11. So what they basically are doing here is trying to build on that partnership that we just discussed, and they're basically trying to create and augment 1 billion 3D assets for model training. And how this would work is Rndr nodes will participate in asset creation and storage. Now, buyers interested in using the dataset will pay exclusively in Rndr on the network, and users will have the option to stake their Rndr and then receive rewards from nodes who generate this training revenue. So basically what they're looking to do is have 1 billion assets, 1 billion 3D assets for model training on the Rndr network that must be paid for in Rndr tokens, and users will have the option to stake Rndr and receive rewards from the nodes who are generating that training revenue as people basically use these 1 billion 3D assets for their different model creation. So very, very big and ambitious plans here for the Rndr network, and if they execute on this, we could see a ton more traffic and demand for this actual network. And this would also mean more staking rewards, as users are going to be paid out based on the nodes who are basically providing those training models. So you can see here how it would work. Stakers, so buyers license data in Rndr, then you have the licensing revenue paid to stakers, percentage of stake paid for upfront work, and then stakers basically just stake with your nodes and receive that licensing revenue in return. So really interesting concept here. And if we take a look at the date this was announced, we're going to see here that this announcement came out on March 27th. So not too long after we saw the initial partnership announcement. However, since then, we have not heard anything about this, okay? And ironically, if we take a look at the price action for this token, it did peak just before, in and around the time that announcement actually came out. Since then, you know, it's pretty much down like over 50% from there, and we have not seen any sort of update after that. So I do think that this announcement will remind people exactly what the Rndr network is looking to solve, and that potentially this could help us see a big move back to the upside for this altcoin, depending on the progress that has been made. So I'm definitely looking forward to to kind of seeing what this announcement is going to be. I hope that it is a big one and that RNP 11 is going to pass. And it is worth noting as well that increased adoption of the Rndr network does also lead to increased burns of the token. So the burn mint equilibrium was proposed back in 2022. And basically what they were looking to do is take the two parties for key stakeholders. So creators or parties with jobs to be done, and node operators, which is or parties performing jobs to be done. So the primary unit of exchange that intermediates value transfer across the network is the Rndr token, which does act as the payment currency for the network, as we discussed earlier. Each job to be done would be priced in USD. The requester would burn an equivalent dollar value of Rndr tokens to submit to the network. And once the requester burns the required amount of Rndr tokens, a set of non-transferable, non-fungible coupon tokens or Rndr credits would be issued to requesters and allocated among fulfillers to keep record of jobs completed on the network. Effectively meaning that what would happen here is that if somebody actually did pay for a job in Rndr tokens, that Rndr would be burned and then they would be given credits to actually pay for that job. This means the more jobs to be done that are placed on the network or that are requested on the network, the more of the token is being burned. If we take a look at the dashboard here, you get a live update on that. Currently sitting at 74.7 thousand Rndr tokens have been burned cumulatively. So I am looking forward to this announcement on July 20th. Hopefully it does actually come on that day, and I do also hope that we could see a big uptick in the price action. Now, it's worth noting in the last video we spoke about Rndr, I said that I was really looking to see if it was going to make a move either, back up to the bull market support band at 880 or down to this area of support at about 530. We didn't quite get there, but we got quite close actually. This thing came all the way down to about 567, give or take, on this pullback. But that also doesn't mean that it won't eventually come back down here. I'm kind of just keeping an eye on the rest of the altcoin market. If it does want to continue shuffling sideways or moving down, I would not be surprised to see a retest of $5.30. And to the upside, I am looking for a break above 880, which is the prior all-time high in 2021 and currently, in the range of the bull market support band. So on that note, I hope you did enjoy the content in today's video. I hope you are all staying happy, safe, and healthy, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out for now.